Hello, and welcome to another Tech Articles. In this article, we're going to look at SureForms, and specifically around a couple of questions that were asked in the Facebook group. And one of those was whether we could limit a form's total submissions, i.e., on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis. And the other was whether we could limit the submission, and the question was around whether we could limit the number of submissions of a particular quiz. And I said in that post that I would imagine, given the hooks that are available, that it is accomplishable by some custom code. And in this video, we are going to do just that. So I've got a basic stack here set up, and I built a form using the AI form builder, and this is for a simple quiz. And what we're going to do is we're going to limit submissions via email address first, and we are going to also limit this to a number of submissions. And currently the submissions are empty in the database to be nice and clean here, because we're going to do a daily submission limit rather than an annual, or actually we'll do an annual. I think we'll do an annual rather than a daily, and that way we've locked it down forever rather than just for this particular day. So this is all powered by a code snippet, and this is what our form looks like on the front end. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and do some work on getting some data. The first thing I need to do is I need to get the form field data for this. So we're going to open the inspector, and when it loads, you'll see here that the name for this is this, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put that into my notepad on the screen so that I can copy and paste this in. And now we're going to go down to plugins, and we're going to go down to WP Codebox. And we've got our simple rules here, and we're going to modify this. So next we need to look at this composition form, and we'll see here that it's post 8, so it's form 8. And we need to go back to our snippet, and we need to change this 6 here to an 8. Now, in terms of our limits, we want to submit it to, let's say 5, it's actually going to stay the same, I think. Well, let's change it to 6. Let's do 6 limits. Now, currently it's set on daily, but you'll see down here there is an option for it to be annually. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to copy that, and we're just going to stick that in here. And I'm going to leave the default message here. This form has reached its submission limits, and I'm just going to change this today for the year. And this is our text field here that we want. And in our case, it was an email field, so I'm just going to grab that email data and stick that in here, like so. And that's our email. And I'm going to change it to email mode. And what this will do is just normalize the email to allow us to compare it. And we're going to leave it at 2, and it's an all-time submission. They're only allowed 2. And we've already used both allowances, no additional submissions left. Yep, we'll leave that the same, and we'll push save. So our form should now be guarded. And it's really that simple to set up a form. And if you had multiple forms and multiple ways to guard this, you would continue to copy the data for each return, for each submission rule, and then you would be able to continue to copy this section here and change the details within for additional forms. It has been built to allow for multiple forms. So I'm going to go to the front end. I'm going to refresh our form, and we're going to put in and it's Paris, and we're going to agree to the terms and conditions. I'm not going to put any additional comments in. They're irrelevant in this case. It's taken our first submission. We're going to do the same. And I'm pretty sure I said test, didn't I? I just want to be sure, because it won't check unless it's the same. Yep, test. And we're going to put, I don't know, London. Get it wrong this time. And I'm going to submit. And that accepted that submission as well. And we're going to put our name in here. And we're going to do test at and we're going to put we'll get this one right again. Paris in here, terms and conditions, submit, and you'll see nothing happens. And if we scroll down, we get a notification saying you've already used both allowed attempts for this form. No additional submissions are allowed, and that is what we added as our text. Now, if we change our email address here to test2 and submit, it will actually submit that form. Now, I'm not going to fill in any useful details in the rest of this form. We've used 3 attempts. I'm just going to put some data in these fields because they're required. That should be 4 attempts, and we can do that. Check that by going to the database, and we see we've got 4 attempts here. We refresh, and that's another attempt. And I'm going to put a 2 at the end of this because we'll get hit by the code again. Otherwise, and you'll notice again that won't submit. And if we scroll down, this form has reached its submission limit for the year. So the answer is yes, it is entirely possible to limit SureForm submissions by the total amount of duplicates submissions by an email address, i.e. if you're using a quiz as part of a marked exercise in a course, you can limit the number of submissions that each email address can use. Equally, if you're running a competition, like in this example here, you only want to allow each email address a single entry, you can do the same again. Each one will have to have a unique email address. And the same for overall submissions. Let's say you only allow 300 people per month to get a automatic response to a submission, to get a link to a Zoom or some other type of webinar. You can use that to limit your monthly submissions on your Get Access form, or your lifetime submissions as well if you're running some sort of evergreen campaign. So using the code within this snippet, you could actually do other types of submissions and checks, i.e. you could add one that checks for logged in users and only allows logged in users to submit that form. And if they are not a logged in user and you can't get their username, sorry, you can't submit this form. So it is quite possible to hook into the various hooks that run before and after submission to stop and manipulate the data that is being submitted via SureForm. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe to the channel.